These are 10 times Alex Pereira went into complete beast mode.
That's a good right hand.
With his 80-second destruction of Magomed Ankalaev at UFC 320, Alex Pereira is back as the UFC's light heavyweight champion, and if he keeps performing like he did against Ankalaev, we may soon see him as the first ever 3-division UFC champion if he can achieve heavyweight glory.
He could be a 3-division world champion for the first time.
Alex Pereira joined the UFC in 2021 with a modest MMA record of 3-1, but his legendary Glory kickboxing career was what earned him a fast track to the big stage.
I watch him fuck up everybody over there.
When he joined the UFC, Pereira had already won titles in 2 different weight classes in Glory, and on top of that, he had the upper hand over the UFC's biggest star at that time, Israel Adesanya. The UFC's grand plan was Adesanya versus Pereira 3 inside the octagon, but they still wanted to test if Pereira was good enough. So in his debut at UFC 268 in November 2021, Pereira showed he was on a completely different level compared to the UFC's unranked fighters, as he delivered a brutal flying knee to Andreas Michailidis' face and knocked him out in style.
He looked damn good tonight, you know. He did a great job defending the takedown and then, you know, got the guy where he needed him, and incredible flying knee.
In March 2022, Pereira faced another tough opponent in Bruno Silva, and this time he dominated his fellow Brazilian over 3 rounds to prove that his explosive debut was no accident. Usually 2 UFC wins aren't enough to get a fighter into the rankings, let alone a potential title eliminator. But Dana White clearly knows a star when he sees one, because recognizing Pereira's talent and hype, he decided to match him up with Sean Strickland, with the winner taking on Israel Adesanya for the belt. But Strickland being Strickland didn't buy into the hype.
Let me tell you guys something. There's not one Glory fucking kickboxer in any fucking weight class that I couldn't stand and bang with. So don't fucking tell me just because you're some big fucking Brazilian, you knocked out Izzy 20 years ago, that fucking I can't stand with you. Come on, motherfucker. Get out of here.
Strickland dismissed Pereira at every opportunity and even mocked him.
He's not even a good striker, bro. Like, what is Pereira? Like, fuck, dude. The only reason to do that is because you're fucking tall, man. You're genetically gifted. If you were a normal sized fucking human being, you wouldn't even fucking be here. Your style sucks.
On fight night, Strickland paid the price for his trash talk as Pereira landed his signature left hook to drop him and then seal the deal with follow-up shots to finish the fight.
The shitty part about it was, you know, during the round I kept thinking, man, this is going to be an easy fight. I see everything this guy's throwing. I'm getting the better of the exchanges. I'm going to beat this guy up for 3 rounds. And then halfway through I got caught. So hats off to Alex. He's a fucking killer.
Before facing Pereira, Strickland had only been stopped once in 28 fights, but Pereira finished him in under 3 minutes and earned himself a shot at middleweight glory against Israel Adesanya in the process. Adesanya and Pereira's rivalry goes back to 2016 and 2017 when they faced each other twice in kickboxing. Pereira won both times, including a knockout that put Izzy on a stretcher. However, the Adesanya of 2022 felt he was a different beast altogether. He felt he was older and wiser. More so, he felt that he was winning both the kickboxing bouts until he wasn't.
I fucked this guy up in the first fight. Not crazy, but the judges gave it to him. Second fight, I had him on skates, and I made a judgment call, an error in my part. And it was a beautiful story for him because in his backyard, down 2 rounds, on the 3rd round, he comes and knocks me out. That's a beautiful story for him. He who laughs last, laughs best. And I'm going to have the last laugh.
And heading into their UFC fights, the gap in their MMA accomplishments was so huge that Adesanya felt Pereira should have been grateful for even getting the chance to fight him.
Do you believe he deserves to be in the position that he is now? Do you
Deserving
feel like
is subjective. Deserve, everyone deserves this. Earned, did you earn the position? That's what everyone says, deserve. Did you earn it? People say, I don't deserve this shit. They say, oh, he doesn't deserve this. He doesn't deserve to have all this money, all this accolades and whatnot. I'm like, fuck you, I earned this shit. I don't think he's earned it, to be honest.
Adesanya was as confident as ever and promised to knock Pereira out.
Trust me, he knows I put him on skates last time. And this time when I put you on skates, I'm gonna leave you frozen like Elsa.
When the two finally met at UFC 281, Adesanya almost stopped Pereira in the very first round, rocking him badly, but the Brazilian was saved by the bell. From rounds 2 onwards, the fight turned into a thrilling back and forth, with Adesanya looking sharper in the striking exchanges. By the 5th round, Izzy was ahead on the scorecards. Realizing it was now or never, Pereira went all out and landed a devastating left hook, followed by a ton of unanswered punches that ended Adesanya's reign and kick-started Pereira's rise to superstardom.
What a life, what a moment. Fucking crazy, isn't it? Like, similar to the last time, same story. It's crazy, but yeah, I was fine. First thing I said to you or the ref was I was fine because I was still lucid. I was in there, but yeah, shit happens.
However, credit where it's due, because in their immediate rematch at UFC 287, Adesanya successfully got his revenge where he knocked Pereira out cold. After that loss, Pereira decided to move up to light heavyweight, where every fighter in the division was about to experience what all the hype was about. In his light heavyweight debut, Pereira went up against former champion Jan Blachowicz, the man to hand Adesanya his first MMA defeat, and he believed he could do the same to Pereira.
What I see, great fight in stand-up in the first round, but second round, I take him down or knock him out or submit him on the ground.
Compared to Adesanya, Alex was tougher to deal with as he defended the takedowns and fought a smart fight on the feet to churn out a split decision win at UFC 291. Pereira's next challenge came at UFC 295, where he fought for the light heavyweight title against the wild and unorthodox Yuri Prochazka, whose defensive openings were about to be badly exposed. Prochazka was a top-tier talent at the time of his fight with Pereira, and his knockouts of Dominic Reyes and Volkan Oezdemir plus his submission win over Glover Teixeira were enough to prove that he was a serious threat.
I believe this fight will be great, and I believe in my winner.
Despite his unshakable confidence, Yuri still held a deep respect for the man standing across from him.
I see it like warrior against the warrior. Alex is like top level stand-up guy, so I'm prepared for that.
Pereira was equally confident and respectful.
Oh, definitely a hard opponent, unpredictable, yes, but all the experience that I have on striking and kickboxing, I'm gonna be using all that on the day of the fight.
On fight night, Pereira went to work on Prochazka's lead leg, chopping it down like a tree and slowing him noticeably. By round 2, Yuri started to overextend and charge in wildly. Pereira unsurprisingly caught him clean and stopped him in a big way to claim the light heavyweight title. While Prochazka carried himself with respect and humility, Pereira's next challenger, Jamal Hill, came in as one of Pereira's cockiest opponents to date, but he was about to be sent spiraling into a brutal downfall. Heading into their clash at UFC 300, Hill, who had previously vacated his title due to injury, entered the fight brimming with confidence. Every time he got hold of the microphone, he claimed how he was levels ahead of Pereira.
You are known for knocking a lot of guys out, so do you see this fight playing out that same way where you're gonna knock out Alex?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 100%. I see myself as superior everywhere. I see myself as a superior striker, as a superior grappler, as a superior clinch worker, as a superior thinker, as everywhere. I'm superior to him in everywhere in this game, and I'm gonna show the levels to that.
Hill even predicted nothing less than a violent stoppage at every opportunity.
He's a 2-division glory champion, 2-division UFC champion, kickboxing great, hands of stone, bad man, just a monster, dangerous, scary dude. He's all those things. But watch what I do to him.
Make no doubt, I'm here to put him out. He gotta go to sleep.
If that wasn't enough, during their final face-off, Hill took things up a notch as he brought out a stonehead prop, a figure symbolic of Pereira hanging on a chain, and smashed it on the ground, warning that he was supposedly going to take the champ's head off. While Hill's pre-fight antics dragged on, the actual fight was short and sweet, as just 3 minutes in, Pereira brushed off what looked like a low blow and then unleashed his signature left hook to drop Hill on the canvas. Pereira followed up with brutal ground and pound, and the fight was over.
He behaved not so good. He started with respectful during the week, and then he did what he did during the press conference and the weigh-in. So that honestly, the least that I could do was just that to him.
This was Pereira's third fight at light heavyweight in just 9 months, but instead of taking a break, he jumped right back in. Pereira signed on to face Jiri Prochazka in a rematch at UFC 303, heading into which his opponent was so stunned by Pereira's string of dominant performances that he wondered if Pereira was cheating with a very strange method. Heading into UFC 303, Prochazka accused Pereira of using witchcraft to win his fights.
Everybody knows that, and he's doing these rituals before the fight. Everybody can feel that, what's around him and what's going on. So, and I think Alex can't fight without that.
Prochazka went on with it, challenging Pereira to fight using only his human capabilities and not rely on any so-called black magic.
Right now, this is my challenge to him. If we can fight in a clear way in this case, yeah? To be not without like some another things, some whatever, but let the higher power be there in the cage to see who's the best in the world, in the pure performance.
The bizarre pre-fight build-up led to another thrilling clash at UFC 303. Prochazka came out firing in the first round, bringing his trademark wild aggression, but his free-flowing style once again left openings because with just 1 second left of round 1, he got caught with a massive left hook, but was saved by the bell. But Prochazka was clearly still feeling the side effects because seconds into round 2, Pereira landed a perfectly timed high kick that knocked him out cold. The UFC was thrilled as they finally had a champion who was always ready to fight and never turned down a challenge. But behind the scenes, Pereira's decision to fight 4 times in under a year was taking a toll on his body, and he came dangerously close to paying the price for it in his fight against Khalil Rountree. Rountree was on a hot 5-fight winning streak with 3 performance bonuses when he challenged Pereira for the belt at UFC 307, so he was naturally buzzing with confidence.
This is what I've been working for. You know, when I started MMA, when my life changed, it all happened kind of like by accident, but I stayed strong, I stayed dedicated, and I've always had a belief that, you know, this was possible. So now I'm finally here, and I'm like living in this reality that was a dream. So what it means to me is everything. It's that time that I've always seen in my mind, you know, like now it's here. And so I feel great, man. Like I'm ready for this.
Despite his confidence, Rountree knew exactly who he was facing, and this was without a doubt the toughest test of his career.
I think the both of us on each side know what we're up against.
Rountree came fully prepared for war, pushing Pereira to his absolute limit in a grueling 4-round battle. Both fighters left each other bruised and battered, and for the first time, Pereira showed signs of vulnerability. But even then, he dug deep and managed to finish Rountree in the 4th round. The fight was a great learning curve for Rountree.
I was really tested, like, to the very end in that fight, and yeah, I went as far as I possibly could, and in my mind I enjoyed the whole thing. I enjoyed it all the way through.
For Pereira, the fight was a much-needed reality check. He realized he had to give his body a break, especially since he had stepped into the bout while sick and on antibiotics. With 5 fights crammed into just 16 months, Pereira had earned every bit of rest before plotting his next move. But just 5 months later, he was back under the bright lights against the cocky Magomed Ankalaev, who had been targeting Pereira for months on Twitter.
We're planning on absolutely dominate him on Saturday. We're going to make sure that Shama has no chances on Saturday. And whether or not he stays in the sport or decides to go back to the tire shop, that's going to be up to him. He's going to be the one that has to make that decision.
When Pereira stepped into the cage against Ankalaev at UFC 313, something was clearly off. He didn't look like his usual explosive self, his timing was off, and his attacks lacked their usual sharpness. Ankalaev took full advantage of it by controlling the pace over 5 rounds to win by a unanimous decision, claiming the light heavyweight belt in the process. Many thought Pereira's reign at the top was finished and that a comeback was impossible, but Pereira proved his doubters wrong, returning in a way that even a legend like him had never done before. In the lead up to the immediate rematch at UFC 320, the rivalry between Alex Pereira and Magomed Ankalaev went up a notch as social media banter spilled over to the UFC Performance Institute. Pereira claimed that Ankalaev had hidden from him at the UFC PI.
O que aconteceu ali agora? A saída do PI, né? Eu vi ali o treinador do Ankalaev, tava ali e tal, por meio. Eu saí do PI, a gente ficou um tempo ali no sofá, ali na recepção. Aí saí, fui pro carro. E aí quando eu cheguei no carro, né? Um cara do meu time, né? Tava lá dentro ainda, né? E viu, tipo, a menina do PI falando pro Ankalaev: pode vir, ele já foi embora já. Tipo, porra.
Ankalaev angrily denied the accusations.
Trash talk is something that you hype up the fight and you say something funny or maybe just to be salty. But when you lie to people and say that, oh, I saw him and he hid or he was hiding in a PI, the stuff like that he recently said, I don't respect people like that. Why would you lie about something that never happened?
From there, the trash talk only got louder.
He's been lying since the first fight. He said that I turned down fights against him, that I said no. Dana's right here, he can confirm it. Just ask Dana.
This guy never turns down fights, ever. When he's injured, when he's not injured, this guy doesn't give a shit. He's on vacation, he says yes and comes, believe me.
Ankalaev said Pereira's time as a star was up.
Saturday night, I'm gonna beat him up like he stole something from me.
On fight night, Pereira came out like a man on a mission to prove everyone wrong. Right from the start, Pereira puts the pressure on before landing a big right hook that badly rocked Ankalaev. Pereira then swarmed Ankalaev with brutal punches and elbows until the referee jumped in and ended Ankalaev's misery. The fight was over in just 1 minute and 20 seconds, and with that explosive finish, Pereira reminded everyone why he's still the scariest beast in the bigger UFC divisions. One clean shot was all it took to silence anyone who doubted him.
Pereira just went out there and made it look easy. Didn't dominate the fight because there wasn't really a fight. It only lasted 1 minute and 20 seconds.
These were times when Alex Pereira went into complete beast mode. If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel and check out every time rising star Paddy Pimblett also went into beast mode.